ground up, like, what's the thoughts on what we can do with ground up this year? Obviously, we're going to do a strategy session now where we'll talk about details of things, but just for our viewers' benefits, what can they expect from us this year in terms of what we're trying to do with the piece, I suppose, with the network? What do you reckon, D?
Just a nod.
To the moon.
To the moon, baby. Yeah. Give us some more detail, maybe. Something more useful.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, we're sitting on a gem, really. The question is, and the reason why we're sitting on a gem is because we genuinely are just genuine property people who've come together because we want to. I believe in that saying. You're the sum of the people you spend your time with, and you're all business owners. You're successful. You're big. You're visionaries. You're big picture thinking. You're not afraid to dance the dance. You've got grit, determination. Who else would you want to spend time with? So the reason why we're sitting on gem is because it's up to us. Like, what do we want to do? Do we want to? What I would see us do is we continue doing the podcast because I think it's great, but we just make it a bit more relatable. We just get more feedback and try to make sure that as it's growing, the audience is getting something every time they tune in. Whether it's like Jack hit on something earlier, great. We'll deep dive into that a second because it was relevant, like the CGI thing, using that at the stage. That's a great golden nugget there that anybody listening, if they took one thing away, that could save them 250, 300, 400, 500 pounds on the next listing every single time just by doing that one tip. I mean, great. Stuff like that. We should do more of that. More guest speakers. We should do that as well, that are reputable. And events. I like the event side. We should do like the gatherings. The go-karting was great. The skiing's going to be awesome. The golf was great. We should build the community and get more people around. But there's tons of value we can do. I mean, where do you see it, Ryan? You think about this stuff a lot.
Yeah, no, but I agree with all of the practical things that we can do to add value for people. And just sort of reiterating on what I was saying before, I think whatever we end up doing operationally, it's got to lead to ground up becoming the most trusted kind of thought leader and resource in the space for property people, for investors, and hopefully business owners as well, particularly business owners within our sector. So people who may be brokers, they might be estate agents, they might be builders, whatever. Hopefully we can provide something where they can take part in a network, offer value themselves just by being there, get business out of it, find good resources, know that they're vetted through us and through a discography of credible sources. I think there's ways we can position it so that it just becomes this like a marketplace, basically, like a marketplace network that's we should hopefully in the limit be able to make a lot of money from. But it should save a hell of a lot of people a lot of money in the mistakes and the kind of opaqueness of this industry, where it can be really hard to get good contacts, to get good ideas, to save on issues. I mean, the amount of times we've called each other on different occasions, but I can speak for myself where I've called you guys and gone, I've got this thing, what do you think? And you say something that I just not even thought of. And I'm like, oh shit, that's completely changed my thinking on it. And that might save me thousands of pounds, might make me thousands of pounds more, in some cases a lot more money. And the value of having that kind of like syntax with a network is huge. And the only people who do it at the moment charge you 10,000, 20,000 pounds a year for access. And I just think we can undercut them and create a much better value-led, network-led system under the Ground Up brand, with the podcast being our sort of top of funnel. That's my thoughts. Jack, what do you think?
Yeah, I think obviously the like the main reasons that we set up the podcast was, like Dorian said, like you said, is selfishly we like talking to each other and sharing ideas. We thought that the ideas that we're sharing and the conversations we're having and the healthy debates we're having would be useful for other people that are in similar shoes and situations and industries to us. So that was like principle number one. We like having a bit of fun. I think we take the piss out of each other, and that's kind of like we're very much leave your ego at the door and help each other. And we not only do we have a bit of fun, I feel like we're very honest and upfront in an industry where a lot of people aren't honest. And a lot of people say to me, "Oh, shall I pay this to be in this network, or shall I pay this to be in this education?" My first question I ask those people is that person teaching you earning more from teaching or from developing? And that simple answer is where I feel we build the grounds of this network. We're not really in it to be our future fund and our main profit earner. We are doing the doing, and we are prepared to share the downsides, like you said earlier, Rye. We share the problems, we share the upsides, and there's a lot of smoke and mirrors in our industry, which hopefully helps us have our niche around just being real, and having a bit of fun with it. So I think what we would love to hear from our listeners is actually more of what you would like, because we love topics and questions that come in for the podcast. The reason we're doing events was actually by popular demand of the listeners. They said, when can we get face to face? The network, and actually, I met with one of our network members, Cormac, actually at one of my sites, and he introed someone to the network. And I said, we really need to get like a referral scheme going, because we massively appreciate that. And he said, look, I'm happy sharing this with anyone because I get so much value from the network myself. So I feel like it's like, if you have a good product and you make sure that you listen to the people that are consuming that product, and it's needed in an industry where, it's all well and good, you can pay X amount for a commercial conversion course, but the actual devil is in the detail. Law and regulations change. How do you get that support to go through? So I see us as almost a very molded and adaptive community where we can help others. Some others help us, but we have fun along the way. And the most prioritizing thing is, like you said, trust and honesty, really.
One of the big parts of the trust is the cost, right? It's £100 a month. It's like paying a utility bill to have access to all this kind of value. And I think that's probably our biggest sales benefit, is that we're not in it to charge an individual thousands of pounds. We want you to do well and have a support network. Guaranteed, we don't have the time of day to be able to sit down with you all day and troubleshoot something the way if you paid someone 10 grand maybe would. But what does that person with 10 grand really know? You taking your 10 grand really know, compared to a network of experienced people who can all help and hive mind with each
Yeah.
other. So
a lot of what we put out there, you can kind of draw your own opinions and execute on whatever you think is wrong, right, or indifferent. But equally, we always want to be able to, on the podcast, have a light touch form, fairly, very content heavy, bit of fun from the podcast, from the network. We don't want to be like others where that's our main bread and butter, and also we're not giving you enough information to be dangerous, but not enough information to deliver, and that's been a high priority for us.
Yeah, it's exciting times. It's going to be cool, and like we said, event live is going to be tomorrow by the time you're listening to this.
I think we should put, I think this is the one bit I think you disagree with on, Rye, is I think we should put a budget together for more ad spend to just increase the exposure. I think like the organic growth is great, but I think we should, just not enough people know about it.
Yeah. Well, this is where we'll do the strategy session, because there's a few things that we can play around with. Like, happy to talk about them on the podcast, but we'll be here for a while going through some of those bits. But yeah, there's stuff we definitely want to grow, right? And I think there's a few things we can do organically, and I do think there's a downside to YouTube ad spend, purely because you can manipulate your algorithms, and if you can crack organic, what you need to crack YouTube, there's one thing you need. You need preferred search from the algorithm. That's it. If you can crack that, and there's ways you can do it, and I've literally, the last episode we put out, you've seen it done fairly well. That's because I've got the guys in Sri Lanka working on this new thing, and I'll explain how that sort of works off the call. And it's not cheating or anything. It's just being way more data analytical and having someone sat there moving the needle when you post an episode, so that you can help the YouTube algorithm prefer your video. And once you can start to get that working, episode on episode, increase retention rates, then YouTube does all the lifting of the ad spend, and it didn't cost you any ads. So there is a way to do it organically. Ad spend on Instagram is different though. It's a different behavioral platform. They automatically restrict your reach, and the organic algorithms are shit. So the ads on Instagram are beneficial. So bit of a caveat there.